Welcome to episode 13 of the Animorphs read-along broadcast, where we are discussing book 12, The Reaction. This Rachel book is basically about being a hormonal teenager and the dangers of having a celebrity crush. The celebrity in this book is Jeremy Jason McCole, who is an obvious substitute for Jonathan Taylor Thomas, star of Home Improvement. And the big threat in this book is that the Yeerks are going to make him a controller and have him become a spokesperson for the sharing. While Jake and Marco shrug this off as no big deal, Cassie and Rachel, who are both big Jeremy Jason McCole fans, understand the true power that he has as a young teenage heartthrob. At the beginning of this book, Rachel saves a kid from a crocodile by acquiring said crocodile and morphing into him. It's not a brilliant move because it could have gotten her killed, and she was also morphing in public. After she acquires the crocodile, Rachel starts to morph uncontrollably. She morphs into an elephant in her bedroom without being able to stop. This destroys her house. The crocodile incident, coupled with the house falling down, get her a fair amount of media attention. They slowly start to figure out that Rachel's uncontrollable morphing is triggered by her uncontrollable emotions. The first time it happened, she was feeling romantic feelings for Jeremy Jason McCole. The other times she was feeling angry, disappointed, scared. But the funny thing is how many of these instances actually relate to her feelings for Jeremy Jason McCole specifically. And it's almost like Applegate is giving us a warning against being too infatuated with these celebrities who are often jerks, as Jeremy Jason McCole is. The difficulties of dealing with new teenage hormones and teenage emotions and all of the mood swings and stuff. And Rachel's definitely the perfect character for this because she has a quick temper. She doesn't have a whole lot of self-control. As we've seen in past books and this book, she can be quite reckless. Obviously, all the Animorphs have, 90s pop culture references, but I feel like this book in particular is sort of inundated with them. And then in some ways, this book functions as a critique of 90s entertainment, or maybe just entertainment culture in general. The media is definitely not portrayed in a positive light, and in the end of the book, when Rachel does go on the show, the whole thing seems very shallow and inauthentic. Jeremy Jason McCole is willing to become a Yeerk just to get ahead. It turns out, of course, that Rachel was allergic to the crocodile morph. There are some morphs that just are not compatible with certain people's DNA, and so until she gets rid of that DNA, she's going to keep having this problem. And when she finally does, what happens is it's almost like she burps out another crocodile. Rachel never wants to miss out on the action, and so she goes into the first mission just sort of wishing away this problem, and then she actually lies to Jake and Cassie before the second mission that the problem is gone when it really isn't. She just makes reckless decisions sometimes in order to stay in the fight. Cassie morphs Rachel in this book, and I'm always disappointed that we don't get to experience what it's like to morph into a human ourselves. Is there any kind of instinct, or is it just like, oh, it's me but in another body? In the end, Jeremy Jason McCole is so freaked out and traumatized from the big animal fiasco on the talk show that he decides that he sort of goes into hiding and he can no longer be a spokesperson for the sharing. So mission semi-accomplished. One thing that did bug me about this book, and this is just obviously me coming from a 2015 perspective, but just the gratuitous heteronormativity in this book. Normally I think of the Animorphs books as pretty progressive for their time. It has intersectional feminism and good depictions of diversity and really complex morality. But this book kind of, with all the boys like this and girls like this, and the guys don't even know how famous Jeremy Jason McCole is because they don't speak that girl language and they have to explain it's like Baywatch. Obviously, it was the 90s, and, maybe even today there's still things like that, but it just sort of annoyed me. So those are all my thoughts about Animorphs number 12, The Reaction. The next book is book 13, The Change. If you want to keep up with this read-along, subscribe to this channel or follow me on Twitter, and I will see you on Monday.